Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you are listening in from. Welcome to another edition, another episode of Crypto Happy Hour. And again, an episode where the markets are getting crushed. I don't know what it is about Crypto Happy Hour and just the markets getting slaughtered, but apparently that's the new hot thing in the streets for me to plan a Crypto Happy Hour in the midst or at some point in time when the markets are getting crushed. And right now you're seeing some pretty heavy sell volume going on with Bitcoin dropping in the past, I don't know, let's say hour. We could pull up these charts. Whew. Bitcoin's fallen off a cliff in the last 2 hours from 1380 or 13,800 down to 13,200 right now. Taking a look at some of these comments here. What is up, Mesa? What's up, Joey? Hope you guys are doing well. Let me just make sure all of this stuff is working out. Sweet, sweet. What's up, Kyle? Hey. JP, yeah, congrats on the new gear. Yeah, got some just a new mic, so hopefully it sounds better or hopefully it sounds all right. Also, got some new lighting, so hopefully that looks good. And I'm trying to figure out how to use my DSLR camera instead of my webcam. I still can't figure out how the hell to do that, but once that happens, the video should be even sweeter. What's going on, Patrick? What's up, Johnny? Francisco, Conrad, what is up, folks? What's up? And so far, I am doing two things right now. I'm drinking coffee, and I got some whiskey on the side because I need to. I'm probably going to stay up for quite a bit of time, but at the same point, need a little bit of whiskey to numb the pain. So let's get it rolling today. Would love to hear what questions you guys have. I mean, pretty much the entire market right now. We can pop over to let's pop to CoinMarket or to Onchain FX. The majority of crypto, I would say, is still down quite a bit. We got Neo. Neo is, first of all, real quick, congrats to anybody who has Neo. I do not own Neo right now. I've made some Neo trades in the past that have done really well, but big congrats to anybody who owns Neo because that has been one of the only saving graces in the market. Somebody said, "What's going on with Neo?" I think a lot of it has to do with just the numerous ICOs that are running on Neo, and it's growing solid in utility. So that is Neo and Neo Gas because it certainly trades basically side by side. But Kyber Network as well, making a nice little bit of a run. But outside of that, Monero holding up somewhat strong. But outside of that, it's been a pretty red day in the marketplace with a number of cryptos just taking the heat, whether it's been Verge, Steam is down quite a bit, Ripple's getting crushed right now, Tron, RIP Tron, 0x, my sweet 0x is down 33% from the all-time high a couple days ago. So it's been a red day. Taking a look at some of the comments here. Some folks saying, am I buying or holding still? So right now, I am not, for the time being, I'm not selling anything right now. I am keeping a pretty strong eye on Bitcoin, though. I think if it dips, and it's looking like it could get there, but the $13,000 range and this we can zoom out a little bit in the past month or so, but this $13,000 range, if it breaks below like 1250 and closes below there, it looks like we've kind of had, there's been numerous scenarios where Bitcoin has bounced off of 13, off of 1290, whatever it might be. If it really dips below, we might be in trouble, and that might be an opportunity to see if I can sell a little bit and buy back in lower, although that doesn't always work out for me. I've done that quite a bit, but I'm looking at it and I'm kind of anticipating if this goes below 12.5 and actually closes below 12.5, and doesn't have an immediate bounce back like it did back right before Christmas, then we might be sitting below 12.5, 13 for quite some time. And somebody's saying, Lisa's saying $6,000 to $8,000 for Bitcoin. If that happens, to be pretty frank, I wouldn't mind it too much. I think there's a big difference. It's a lot easier to buy a whole Bitcoin if you take $6 or $8 grand in cash, buy one Bitcoin, versus back when we were at 18, 19, even 14, 15, $16,000. So that's something that you definitely, I mean, to me, if it goes below 10K, I am going to be scooping up crypto hand over fist and buying as much basically as possible there. So I'm certainly excited for that. Somebody said Bitcoin transfers are just too brutal in comparison to others. Yeah, I mean, I can certainly echo that. I think, at least for me, when I transfer anything now, I pretty much transfer Litecoin exclusively. So if I'm buying crypto, I'm taking Litecoin and I'm moving that to Litecoin in Coinbase or GDAX, and I'm going to take it from GDAX, I'm going to switch it over to Litecoin, and I'm going to move that to Bittrex or Binance or to Huobi or wherever else. So that's kind of my thought process and my plan. So before this ice melts, I'm going to pour... Again, this is probably finish this bottle, but a little Van Brunt Stillhouse whiskey, single malt. It's from Brooklyn, so whatever. Pretty much only available mostly in New York, but it's available in a couple other places too. So yeah, my uncle is involved with these guys, so I get free booze from him every once in a while. So thanks for the Christmas present. So cheers, everybody. Hopefully, hopefully this might ease the pain a little bit. And somebody's saying healthy correction. I do think so. I do think so. The one thing that I would like to see, and this would be a continuation, but if Bitcoin can somewhat regain support and actually stay above 13.5 and consolidate for a little bit of time, that would be excellent to see in the long run. So if the altcoins are going to continue running, we're going to need to see, at least in my opinion, some consolidation. You're not going to want to see a free fall from Bitcoin. Otherwise, your alts are going to fall probably just as fast, if not faster, than Bitcoin, unless there is some incredible news driving them as well. Somebody said, to the new investors like myself that only been in crypto world about a week, our first option is only BitConnect. BitConnect is never your only option. Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. So what's up, Evian? What's going on, dude? Can you comment on the idea of whales influencing the overall Bitcoin and altcoin marketplace today and throughout the history of crypto assets? So the concept of whales is, if you're not familiar with it in crypto, is they're people that own a significant portion of crypto assets. In Bitcoin, that is it's a pretty pronounced number. I don't remember the exact. I've seen some different analysis of the wallet sizes, and I think it's something crazy like 5% or 4% of Bitcoin. It's like 90% of Bitcoin wealth is held with 5% of the holders. So, it's supposed to be this whole the decentralization of wealth, but in some cases it mirrors a lot of what has happened with the rest of the world, in which there's a, super concentration of wealth on the top towards the bottom. But with that being said, with these unregulated markets and with the way crypto works and just the lack of liquidity in a lot of these places, the whales can potentially, there almost goes my microphone, the whales can potentially manipulate things quite a bit. So, I mean, as far as specific opportunities for whales to manipulate that, it's all over the board, depending upon whether it's Bitcoin, if it's altcoins, but I would say it's worth doing your research, and there's certainly people at the high level, at a very high level in the crypto world that have a ridiculous number of assets. And also, when you talk about some of these cryptocurrencies that have either pre-mined cryptocurrencies or got in really early or bought in when the time is right, and they can potentially manipulate the markets. So something to keep in mind, but I don't have any necessarily specific view about what whales could potentially do to you or for you or whatever it might be. James says all these sales hopefully carry till tax season. I guess we'll have to see. It could be a prolonged correction. That's certainly the case. Market cap still higher than the peak of December. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that, when you're looking at the crypto world right now, you need to put things into perspective. We'll click on the market cap, and this is the total market cap. But if you go back 3 months, and you look at October, if you look at October, we're still triple what we were back November. In the beginning of November, we weren't even at a $200 billion market cap in crypto. We're still up to $600-700 billion right now. So I know a lot of people are panicking, and a lot of people might be new to the space. So who gives a crap what it was at 3 months ago? I just got here last week. But it's something you do have to look at because the market has moved incredibly well. Is a pullback likely? Yeah, it has been, and it probably will be as well. Slavic, what's up, dude? Wabi, GTO, OST, Power, and MTH, are they worth investing in long term? So I personally have a small holding in Wabi. Just making sure let me see what percentage of my portfolio. I'm trying to look on the phone. So yeah, I probably have like a 5% of my maybe 4 or 5% of my portfolio in Wabi. I participated in the Manita ICO, and then after it got whomped after the ICO, it went up incredibly well. It went up like 3x after the ICO, and then came all the way back down. And I sold basically at a break even after that. So Power is interesting too. I think Power is actually executing pretty well as a team. I like Wabi. I like Power. I haven't done too much research back into Manita after the ICO, to be pretty frank, but I know it's recovered fairly nicely as well. Dovu BMW partnership on their Twitter thoughts. So I haven't gotten a chance to look into Dovu. I am a BMW guy, so I could dig that. Got my X1, but I don't know too much about the actual partnership there. But if it's with BMW and it's legit, hey, whatever, that's cool. Coins you think will drop out of the top 25 in the next year? Well, let's pull up the top 25 in CoinMarketCap and see what might drop out of the top 25. So I'm looking at this right now. Bitcoin Gold, I think, is one that might drop out of the top 25. I don't see a ton of, I don't know. I don't see a ton around Bitcoin Gold, and I think there are other private forks coming as well. Somebody said BitConnect will drop. BitConnect isn't in the top 25. Heyo. Looking at some of these other ones as well. Tron, the way Tron's going, it's not going to be in the top 25 for long. But who knows? So I think some of these platform plays, it's going to be interesting because within the top 25, there are a lot of general purpose platforms, and there's a lot of either something that's trying to do what Ethereum is doing, and then like the Generation 3 platforms. So you have like the Cardanos and the EOSs and the other cryptos that have these like really aggressive roadmaps, things like IOTA, things like Stellar, things like Neo. So I think we're going to find out in the next year whether or not a lot of these actually are able to last for the long term. However, we could take a look at the historical snapshot and see what happened in the past year. So let's go back a year. Let's go back to 2016 and see what's up in 2016. So basically where we were a year ago from now. So you can see a lot of these cryptocurrencies that were in the top 10 are no longer things that anybody cares about. So, you got Bitcoin, you got Ripple, you got Litecoin and Ethereum. Crazy to think that a year ago, Ethereum less than a year ago was at a $94 million market cap. It's at a 94, it's probably, what is it, above 94 billion? I don't remember off the top of my head without pressing the back button, but Ethereum was trading at $1. It has pulled a 100x. It's trading over $1,000. That was last year. 2 years ago. I'm an idiot, so I don't even remember the date. Thank you, Aaron. I'm an idiot, so I forgot it's 2018. Well, we got okay. So Ethereum was at $9. So we're still talking about a pretty fat gain there. But there's a couple of cryptos that have kind of fallen off a little bit. Augur at one point in time was a top 10. Granted, Augur is still around $1 billion on market cap, but nowhere near as large as it was. At least as high as it was in the market caps recently. Economy is one that is still top 50 crypto, but nowhere near. Steam still performs well, but not a top 11 crypto. What else do we have here? Shadow Cash, Golem, Game Credits, BitShares. There's a lot that have fallen off the face of the earth. eDinar Coin, Bytecoin, EMC, Emercoin, StorageCoin X. So there's a lot. Taking a look at some of these chats here. And if you guys have thoughts too, I mean, I'd love to hear what you think is going to drop out. If we go to the top 25 right now, that's an interesting question. I'd love to hear what you guys think is going to drop out of the top 25. Is there any crypto you think is going to fall off the face of the earth in the next year? Would love to hear your thoughts on that. ETH, Neo, EOS, Lisk will rule 2018. Kyle saying NEM going to take a drop. Tron going to take a drop. Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think Dash is gone. I don't know if Dash is going to be gone in total. They still have a pretty big marketing budget, and I think they have some strong concerted efforts. BCH, I don't know if BCH will die that easy. Speaking of whales, I mean, whales is Bitcoin Cash is whales. You got Roger Ver, you have Jihan Wu. That is like the definition of Bitcoin crypto whales. So I don't know if Bitcoin Cash is going to die that easy. I don't know if Roger and Jihan would ever let Bitcoin Cash die and drop out of the top 25. Somebody said Gas going up too. So Gas and Neo both trade really side by side. Gas is the same thing. It's a similar concept to Ethereum and Gas, but rather than Ethereum, when you spend gas, it just deducts ETH out of your wallet. However, with Neo, you actually don't spend Neo, you spend gas to run transactions with the Neo on the Neo platform with the Neo blockchain. So taking a look at some of these bad boys here. A couple people have asked about Bitcoin, or excuse me, Z Classic, Bitcoin Private. That's definitely one to keep an eye out on. It hasn't, where is it? ZCL, Z Classic. It's pulled back a little bit, but this is one that I am, from everything I know, they have a pretty solid team in place, and they're actually doing what they're actually kind of pulling off the right approach to, where's the guy on Twitter? So I don't know if there's one of the folks on the Z Classic team that's running the Z Classic development, and he put up a nice side-by-side comparison as far as, let's see if we can pull it up here. So here we go. So this is fairly interesting as far as kind of what Z Classic is doing and how they're different than Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold. And the fact that they do have replay protection, I know that was one of the issues with Bitcoin Gold off the bat was they didn't have replay protection. There was kind of a potential doubt about that, but the way that they're focusing on this and the fact that they don't have a pre-mine, it could be interesting. I do think that there could be a lot of people that hop onto this and say, "Oh wow, this is literally the exact same thing as Bitcoin, but private transactions. I'm gonna buy this stuff up." So you can look at Bitcoin Gold, you can look at Bitcoin Cash. The valuations associated with both of those are pretty high. So it wouldn't shock me if Bitcoin Private does really well. Somebody said thanks for the interview with Crypto Ethan. Yeah, that was cool. I really enjoyed talking to Crypto Ethan, and I certainly am trying to work on having more interviews with as many traders and people in the space as possible, just because I'm just one voice and I'm just one opinion, and I want to learn as much as possible. I'm also pretty excited. I don't know if I mentioned to everybody, but I am going to Miami this week for the Bitcoin conference in Miami. I think there's like 4,000 people going to that. So I should hopefully be I'm really looking forward to speaking to a lot of people down there, hopefully gathering as much knowledge as I possibly can, and basically every single thing I learn, whether it's opportunities in the space, crypto that might be hot, things I hear from founders, whatever it might be, I will kind of put that back out to you. I'm going to bring all my camera equipment down there. Kyle, I will not forget to film that commercial. What do you think about EOS and Lend? So EOS is an interesting one. EOS has been on an absolute tear recently. I would say EOS in some cases is comparable to I would say in some cases EOS is comparable to what we have with Cardano in some respects, where it is that kind of, it's trying to take what they've learned. There's a lot of people working on it that have previously been involved in other projects. With EOS, you have like Dan Larimer, and who previously worked on BitShares. Basically, EOS is Dan Larimer. Cardano has Charles Hoskinson. They both have a lot of previous experience. Obviously, there's multiple team members outside of just Dan and Charles, but I feel like they've both kind of worked on previous projects in the past before and are taking a look at how that they're taking a look at how they can best understand what the issues are with things like Ethereum, or what the issues are with things, scalability issues, and trying to solve both of them. I was a little bit turned off by the length of the EOS ICO and how much money they thought they had to raise, but that's actually Neos. That's not EOS, so that's the wrong chart. I'm an idiot, but here we go. So the thing with EOS is it just, after the kind of altcoin run in the summer, it really bottomed out hard mid-October, November, and since then it's just gone through the roof. I mean, if you hopped into EOS back in the October timeframe, you're looking at a nice fat 1,000% gain. So certainly something to certainly something to consider. As far as Lend goes, I've looked at if that's ETHLend, I've looked at ETHLend a little bit. I don't have anything with either like ETHLend or Salt, or no, that's, what am I doing here? I don't have anything with ETHLend or with Salt, but there's certainly an interesting way to approach like peer-to-peer lending, and how they're trying to accomplish things, I think is appealing to me. But I haven't gotten a chance to go into the actual live D app and use it at this point in time. So that's something that I might try to do. And if they have a live D app, that's pretty cool. So what do I think of Ethos? I'll pop over here to Ethos. So a lot of people like Ethos. I see a lot of excitement around Ethos. I see Ethos as a project that has a lot of ambition, but I don't know if it can fully execute on that. It says it can do a lot of things, which is appealing, and it's trading at a pretty big discount to what it was previously. It's probably not 50%, but close to 30 to 45% off its all-time highs. But with Ethos, and again, I haven't gotten a chance to utilize the wallet, but when they talk about all the things that their wallet can do, can they actually do all this? If they can, that's fantastic, or if they can develop that. But is their wallet really the best combination of Exodus, Treasure, Coinbase, Ledger Nano S, Mycelium, as well as like Uber Pay and everything else? I don't know. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. If it can actually do all the things that it says it can with these check marks, then that would be a fantastic move. However, I don't know if it can fully pull that off, but I haven't used it yet. So if I haven't used something, I can't really say specifically if it is not, if it'll be legit or not. Somebody said, I'm feeling less confident. People need all these cryptos. Bitcoin feels outdated, and without Bitcoin, I don't feel the herd's coming. What to think? I don't think so. I do think that there at one point in time there is going to be a correction, and when that correction comes, I think you're going to see certain assets like, I love Dogecoin, but Dogecoin would probably take a beating. Maybe something there's just a lot of overpriced assets that have no business being that valuable, and people are just throwing money into silly things, and they're keeping it there because they know for the most part that it's paid off in the past. It's definitely paid off in the past year. So somebody said, isn't it correcting now? It's, we're definitely seeing a pullback, but I don't think that this is going to be the only pullback that we'll see. And I do think, when we look back at the charts and you see that we were at 200 billion in market cap 3 months ago, and we're still 3x of what we were, there's still a lot of room for this to pull back in reality. Speaking of Neo, have you checked the new Zeepin ICO? I've looked at this a tiny bit. So here we go. Neo ICOs are definitely the... Did they raise everything? Starts in 3 days. Neo ICOs are hot in the streets. They are... Somebody said stop being negative. Well, you know, the world isn't all sunshine and rainbows, and if you want to think that everything's going to the moon, then think everything's going to the moon, but I'm not here to sugarcoat everything. I am going to remain cautious. So, you know, if you want me to stop being negative, I don't know what you want from me, honestly, because I'm just trying to set realistic expectations for people. This is not just going to go straight to the moon. If it does, fantastic, because I have a lot of money in it, and I'll be good. Trust me, I'll be good. But there are a lot of people, and even too, I mean, even with like some of the people that I've seen, like, I don't know. There's going to be some point in time where somebody's going to get their face ripped off by a trade, and it even happened today with the dude. And I'll probably talk about it in tomorrow's video. But there's a dude that I think bought Tron at the top and was down 70% and just didn't have. Was not prepared to take that type of an L and was down 70%, sold it, and is now no longer ever looking at crypto again. So don't be the guy that says, hey, man, don't be so negative, and then when crypto drops 50%, you're saying, screw this, screw you, Crypto Bobby, screw everything, I'm going back into municipal bonds. And then I'll be here a year later and whatever. So let's try not to do that. But Zeepin Chain is fairly interesting. Again, with ICOs on Neo, they've been pretty interesting to see how they end up faring, because things like Deep Brain Chain have done well. There's been a couple other ones that have also panned out pretty well or looked fairly nice off the top. And this is something that I do think is driving the price of Neo quite a bit, is the number of ICOs that are actually happening and the utility being brought to the Neo platform at this point in time. I'm going back to shoveling shit for a living. Buy Neo right now or feel stupid tomorrow, ... Personally, I'm not buying Neo right now. Maybe I'm just a little, maybe I'm hesitant, but I mean, for me, it's up quite a bit. Could it certainly pump a lot higher? Absolutely. Neo could pump a lot higher, but I mean, we're already talking about in the past month with Neo, we're talking about against Bitcoin, we're talking about a 400% gain against Bitcoin. So, you know, buy right now or feel stupid tomorrow. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I feel like that's a little bit FOMO-inducing, and I'm not a big FOMO-inducing type of guy. So I am not advising anybody to buy Neo or be sorry tomorrow. If you buy it, great. I hope it pumps, but you're basically buying at an all-time high right now. So keep that in mind. Although it's pretty much been an all-time high the entire month and just pumped and pumped and pumped up. What's up, Jeremiah? Like the videos. First time you've been able to watch live. Well, happy to have you here, man. What are your thoughts on ELF and BNB? Thank you. So I have a decent little holding of ELF. I also have a tiny holding of BNB, just in a little random altcoin portfolio, kind of a little side purse portfolio. I have enough BNB. I have enough Binance coin to buy on, or to get all like the discounts. That's kind of why I have that. And so I have enough BNB there. But as far as ELF goes, I'm a fan of ELF for a number of reasons. One of the big reasons just being the investors that are involved in it. You got the man, the myth, the legend. Galaxy Digital Assets is Mike Novogratz's crypto hedge fund. FBG Capital is one of the big Asian firms behind some of the larger movements, including Tron, including some of the other ones that have pumped real hard lately. You got Block Tower, which is Ari Paul's firm, Draper Dragon, Blockchain Ventures. There are the investors behind ELF, make me very happy and very interested. So number one, that is one of the big reasons I do have a holding in ELF. From a team standpoint, I think the team is pretty solid when you look at the experience that they have as a whole, and then just what they're trying to do from a cloud, how they're approaching cloud servers and the governance, the layer of governance that they have on top of that, I think is one of the big things. But with that being said as well, the actual investors behind ELF make this a fairly interesting move, in my opinion. People need to stop being zombies. What's that mean? Danny said, any thoughts on the Block Mason credit protocol? I've actually met the CEO or the co-founder of the Block Mason team when I was at the NAC3 conference, the North American Cryptocurrency Conference. He was a speaker there, so we were kind of hanging out in one of the, they had like a room off to the side where we were both prepping for our speeches. So I had a chance to, I think his name was Tim. I had a chance to meet Tim. Let me see. Hopefully I'm actually saying his... Hopefully it's Tim. It's a smaller project, but he's definitely a sharp dude. What do we got here? Let's scroll down to the bottom. Yeah, so I had a chance to meet Tim and get a chance to talk to him for pretty much the entire time I was at the NAC3 conference. Definitely a sharp dude. So I don't have any money in it, but interacting with him and getting a feel for his like technical ability, we were talking a little bit about we were talking a lot about some of the scalability issues behind Ethereum and what they're running into and how they're building the platform. So I had a chance to talk to him. Not really, there was zero, to be honest. I didn't even know at the time when I was talking to Tim that they even had a token available, which is cool because the conversation wasn't around like, yeah, you know, I got this token that's worth, you know, $36 million or something like that. It was significantly more about, hey, I am building this. This is what myself and my team are working on. This is how we're working on it. This is the scalability issues that we're running into. And, you know, this is how we're building around that. This is how we're working with the transaction fees, how CryptoKitties has made this really difficult. So, I like Tim's approach to it and actually caring about the technology and not just like, yo, man, I got, I ran a recent ICO and stuff like that. Thoughts on longevity of ACT after the recent fork? TRX, yeah. You shill that thing, Mahendru. I'll pull up this bad boy here. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate that, man. So I haven't done a ton into A-Chain at this point in time. It's fallen off pretty hard since its nice little spike up in mid-January, or a few weeks ago or so. So that is something that it spiked up real hard. I haven't seen much of a, you're looking at that, you don't see much reason for it to make a move back up or any type of consolidation. So just looking at that off the top, that scares me quite a bit. But I don't know too much about A-Chain off the top, to be pretty frank with you. It's dipping hardcore right now. Check it out. What's dipping hardcore? Let's see. Where's our good friend on Bitcoin doing? What do we got here? Uh-oh. Now let's take a look. Let's pull up the order book on Bitcoin. There we go. Oh, we're below 13K. RIP. That's no bueno. $12.6 on Binance. I'm going to just check Blockfolio Delta real quick. That's no fun. Short it. Thoughts on Ziliqua or Zil? So this is an ICO. Ziliqua ICO. Another one on the Neo platform, if I'm not mistaken. So here's another one too. When I talked about FBG Capital before, they are all over some of these. They're all over a good amount of these ICOs. And when they throw their name on it, I kind of perk up a little bit because their coins have traditionally pumped pretty nicely. With that being said, I haven't gotten a chance, so I didn't participate in the ICO, so I haven't done a full bit of due diligence. I know some people in the space that like Zil quite a bit, but I haven't gotten a chance to fully dive into it. We're back up below 13K. This is the number. This is definitely a number to watch for. Whether or not we break below 13K with some pretty heavy conviction, or if there's actually some buy support here. There's been buy support in the past, and it's turned out okay, but yeah, it's a little worrisome. I think 12.5, I mean, at least me, below 13K, like to 12.5, there seems to be like support between 12.5 and 13. People are saying 13K is resistance, won't go lower than that. I don't want to make that bet. I don't want to take that bet. Because if it goes below 13, I got a lot riding on the downstream. Damn this live stream every time I watch the price dips. Yep. It's because your name's Chad, bro. You're Chad, man. No, I'm kidding. So taking a look at some of these, click on the plus to get a better macro view of the order book. Are you talking about the minus? To 8K fam, strap in. I don't know about that. If it hits 8K, it hits 8K. I'm buying and I'm buying and I'm buying. But we'll have to see. It's tough to predict the future. Yeah, can somebody order me a buffalo chicken wrap? My favorite place is closed right now, closed at 8 p.m. So I'm kind of out of luck on that. But been in 3 crashes so far, hurts every time. Yeah, absolutely. Every single time it hurts. And especially if you're new to crypto. If you're new to crypto, nothing prepares you for it. This is a pretty minimal crash too, I guess, depending upon where things go. But I would say, I mean, this isn't even a crash. We gotta break resistance with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks resistance, goes down quite a bit, your altcoins are gonna get rocked too. So, who closes at 8 p.m., bro? I live in the suburbs. Yeah, I got to go skiing. When I go skiing though, that typically boosts the price of Cardano. So that's been every time I've gone skiing, or the two times I went skiing with my one buddy, Jordan, who's probably not watching this, but 2 times I went skiing in Vermont with my buddy Jordan. The first time I went skiing and Cardano went up like 50%. The second time Cardano like doubled overnight, and I was like, whoa, I should go skiing more often. Somebody's saying USDT. I mean, for me personally, I'm not massive in. Tether's fine short term. I wouldn't keep your money in Tether long term. If you're trying to lock in some profits and keep them and buy back in lower, you can certainly do that. But people are saying 12633 low on Binance. Yeah, Binance trades lower than GDAX. I remember that on the last dip we saw Binance trading like a couple $100 lower than what we saw with GDAX. So is what it is. But yeah, we're going to have to watch, and we're going to have to see if we see some support. The ship is sinking. Yep, everybody freak out. Everybody panic. It is time to run. Time to run, time to hide. I'm going to take a look on the other page here too. See how the portfolio is looking. It's probably getting whomped. It's definitely getting whomped. I actually typed in the right password. Hallelujah. Not running buying. The alts are getting rocked. Yeah, the alts went. That's definitely been a subject to discussion before, but like a lot of times in the past when Bitcoin goes down quite a bit, you're going to see your altcoins get hurt a lot harder, especially if there's not a specific reasoning behind it. And this too, I mean, outside of Neo and some of the other moves there, if the market breaks, if the market breaks resistance, the entire market goes down. Diversification is all over the place in crypto. Yeah, you can think you're diversified, but you pop over to CoinMarketCap right now and you're just getting your portfolio. You look at Blockfolio, unless you're literally full on in something like Neo right now. It's and even Neo, I'm sure I'm not looking at the Neo charts right now, but I'm sure if I pull up the Neo charts, it's probably pulled back quite a bit from where it was previously. Bloomberg is saying China is cracking down. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna pop open Twitter on the other page. So looking at somebody just tweeted, wow, I might have to get a job now. Crypto de Medici. Taking a look at some of these. Yeah, and people are already talking about altcoin winter tweets. Oh, man. This is too fun. Somebody said, why do we care about China anymore? I don't know why we care about China anymore at all, to be honest. From a crypto perspective, they have basically taken themselves out of that space. So I don't know exactly why anybody would care about China. I don't know if that is actually like confirmed FUD that is doing anything to the crypto world at all. The dip is the fault of social justice warriors. I don't know about that. Oh, man. It's like getting donkey punched in the liver. It might feel like it. Wouldn't call it a crash yet. No, I wouldn't. But Patrick says, I like to invest based on the teams and people behind crypto like Dragon and the upcoming Swissborg. Who are your favorite teams in the current cryptos and ICOs? I talked about this team recently, but Nebulous, that team looks solid to me. It's trading. It's up it's up a pretty good amount from the ICO. I would have loved to have gotten in that ICO. I did not get in the ICO, but I would have loved to have gotten in on the ICO with Nebulous. But they have a really, really solid team. There's a number of others. I like Cardano for the team, for IOHK's backing, for Charles Hoskinson. So I'm a fan of that team in particular. I've gotten a chance to meet the team. It's a smaller ICO, but it's a $25 million hard cap of props. I got a chance. I mean, they're headquartered right in Times Square. I've met the team. I've talked to the CEO on multiple occasions. I know they're working their ass off. They have like a team of like 40, 50 people, and they're building, they're working real hard on props. So I'm pretty excited about them too. They're, I think, a legit experienced team that knows what they're doing and is transitioning their business in a proper manner. Somebody said thoughts on the partnership of IOHK, Input Output Hong Kong, which is also behind Cardano primarily, as well as a little bit with Ethereum Classic, ETC. I haven't looked too much into the actual partnership behind them and Zencash as far as what might be there. Somebody said have a man crush on Charles Hoskinson. Yes, I definitely have a man crush on Charles. I'm actually supposed to be, once he's done traveling, I'm supposed to be I'm working with his kind of team to start interviewing him. So I'm going to have an interview on the channel with Charles. Not sure if it'll be a live interview or if it'll be recorded, but I should be having Charles once he's done traveling, because he's been like traveling for like 2 weeks nonstop. Should be having Charles on the channel in the near future, which would be pretty sweet. Somebody said Neo is the only thing diluting the pain on my alts. Yeah, that's Neo's the medicine you need right now. China banning trading sites. GG for all Chinese. I guess that's just goodbye for all China. I mean, I've thought that's been Evelyn, I have a crush on Hong Fei from Neo. Is that only when he's making you money? Charles, you missed my super chat, man. Sorry, Chris. Let me take a look, brother. Did I? Oh, no. No, there we go. China banning trading sites, I guess goodbye for all China. So I don't know too much on that, kind of what's driving that. Haven't seen it. I've been on trying to see if I can see on Twitter as I'm kind of going through everything. I'm just multitasking the hell out of everything right now. But yeah, I don't see anything specifically about China at this point in time. But if there is any articles, feel free to tag it to me on Twitter. Would love to hear about it. Somebody said China banned exchange, but still can be traded in Hong Kong. China isn't the end all be all. I mean, China's pretty much been out of the crypto game since September. If you haven't been around since September, China caused the entire crypto world to drop, and so I'll pull this up I've talked about it before, but I will definitely talk about it again because it's worth mentioning. But if you weren't around back in September, this little tiny blip on the radar that looks like absolute peanuts, back when that happened, that was a nasty, nasty sell-off. You had Bitcoin making an awesome run all the way up to $5,000, and it dipped back. It dipped, what was it, 40%, 35%? Close to 40%, basically. Over the course of 2 weeks, it just sold off and sold off and sold off. So that's the type of market move that can happen when negative news comes out on Bitcoin or on cryptocurrency. You could see a 40% downtrend. And from the all-time highs right now, we're seeing a 30, it's kind of similar 34% downtrend, but that was after Bitcoin basically went parabolic and has since kind of pulled off and leveled itself out quite a bit. So somebody's saying, where do you think we'll find support? This has kind of been the support range. This is literally I'm basically having deja vu right now because the last time we had a crypto happy hour, one of the last crypto crash hours we had, crypto sad hours we had, Bitcoin dipped literally live on the phone or live on the chat. Bitcoin dipped below $13,000 and then recovered slowly and popped back up. Let's see where that was. We can actually look on the charts probably in the last week to see when that was. Yeah, here was the last dip. The last time we went under 12,000 like this, when this happened, this was when we were on Crypto Happy Hour. So this is basically a mirror image. Who knows if we'll have that similar level of recovery or not. But 13K is that pretty, 13K, 2,500 is that pretty critical support level. Somebody said, Crusader General, what's up, my dude? Hey, Bobby, at what point are you going to sell everything if there is such a point? So I don't have a desire to sell everything in crypto. I got into cryptocurrency in late 2013. It was December of 2013, back when we can pull this up here. And this is one of the big things that's kind of ingrained in my mind and why I talk about the dips, but I also think staying with it. And I don't, by no means do I advocate for holding everything. I think that's kind of, hold just the close your eyes and hodl thing is stupid. But this is where I got into crypto back here. Back December of 2013 was where I got into crypto. And this was, at the time, this was a massive spike. This was like the original Bitcoin bull run, the original crypto bull run, where crypto went from being worth less than $2 billion in total all the way up to $15 billion. It pulled a 15x. It was all over the news. Nowhere near to the extent it is right now, but it was all over the news and everything like that. However, there was a long-term pullback, basically from that big spike of $15 billion all the way until like 2016. You can see here, there was a 2-year bear market. Literally, Bitcoin, I got in at the peak of Bitcoin. I got in the peak of altcoins in 2013. And for over, how long was it? A long, long time. Basically 2.5 years it took to get the entire crypto market back above the initial spike that it had. Yeah, so you can see here, it took literally 3 years to get crypto. No bullshit, 3 years to get crypto back above $15 billion from when it was hot in December of 2013, November of 2013. And then after that, it just went on a move up and up and up, and has kind of gone parabolic in the time frame that in the last year of 2017. So when people say like, hey, are you going to sell everything? At what point? No, I don't want to, and the reason being is because when all this stuff went down in 2013 and 2014 and 2015, I lost a little bit of confidence in crypto, and I was super interested in it in 2013, 2014, and then the pullback it hurt, and it hurt for a long time, and you get to a point where you're like, this is just losing money and losing money. If I just dollar cost average it in every single week from when I got into crypto originally to the kind of the big bull run in 2017, I'd be rich as hell. But I didn't dollar cost average. I put my initial money in. I just kind of kept it in and let it ride. But when it was not going anywhere, I didn't continually reinvest, and I didn't put more money in. And that's kind of taught me to just always dollar cost average. That's been like my thing now. It's like, if the market goes up, I'm putting money in. If the market goes down, I'm putting money in, because I think long term we're going to be all right. And that goes to show, too, like a lot of newbies get pissed off because I think a lot of people just come into the space right now with the only care just being immediate, quick profit. There can be 3-year bear markets. And if you're not prepared for that, and if you don't want to deal with that, might not be for you. It's historically, that has happened before. And the history of Bitcoin hasn't been around that long. So that's something you certainly want to take in mind, and just take a look at the history lesson there. Nan, what's up? What do you think of Bitcoin Private's ECL fork? So I talked about it a little bit previously. I don't know if you're around for that, but I am fairly bullish on the Bitcoin Private fork, the ZCL fork, or Bitcoin Private, the ZCL fork. I don't own any ZCL. You will get that through owning ZCL or Bitcoin, I believe, and we'll have Ledger support as well. So I am pretty bullish on that. I think that people might, if the team can execute a smooth fork, I think the team and people will likely get behind that. And I think there's some powerful people that are pretty interested in that. Thoughts on Internet Network Token INT. So let's take a quick pop over there. I don't know so I think Internet Node Token is what you're referring to. It looks like it just ICO'd and came out and then dropped down, and maybe it's like it just ICO'd pretty recently. I haven't seen these guys around, so I don't know too much about INT chain, INT interception, what the jets throw every 5 seconds. So it's not loading, which isn't the ideal sign. Let's see, is it just this webpage? So it's INT's webpage. So I don't know. If I can't look at the website, then then who knows? Should I invest in... okay, actually, no, I missed one. What's up, Dan? Appreciate it, dude. Good job. Thoughts on the Envion ICO and think Tron is done? Is there a legit outlook? I would wait till Tron consolidates. I don't know if you can read the white paper now with Tron. I don't see an English version out. I was trying to read it recently, but Tron has a lot of long-term holders who I think are kind of in the the 5 stages of or in the multiple stages of grief right now, because it's been rough depending upon where you got in. If you got in super early, you might still be in heavy profit and you might not be carrying that much, but I would not, myself personally, I don't have any interest in putting my money in Tron. I'm not I have no, like, this incredible spike up and then a massive sell-off. So until there's some level of consolidation there, I'm not about that. Not about that life. I'm Gucci without it. Somebody said, I got out of Tron at 13 cents and got in under a cent. Well, if you're making 13, 14x profit, then that's a hell of a trade, and good on, that is one heck of a trade and good on you. But I kind of see this in a free fall right now, and unless somebody can show me or tell me otherwise, I wouldn't recommend looking into that too heavily. I'm taking a look at Good job, Bobby. The MV on ICO. I don't know too much about the MV on ICO, Dan. Off-chain grid blah. I have to do a little bit more research on these guys. Oh, yeah. I think I saw these guys before. I got a little turned off by the old slider on the calculate your personal returns trick. So that was something that I saw somebody had previously brought up. I haven't read the white paper or anything like that. Really raised $98 million. Is that true? That's a lot of money. They're still raising money after raising $98 million too. They don't have a hard cap. Do they have a hard cap? I don't know. Me doesn't know. Somebody said Bitcoin's breaking out on the 1 minute. The 1 minute tells the truth always. Guys, give me 1 second here. Taking a look at some of these questions as well. People are talking about the government shutdown. I don't really know too much on that. Wow, red flag right there. Let's see. Taking a look at, should I invest in Zencash? Low supply, low market cap. And so this goes back to, I don't know how far the IOHK involvement in Zencash goes. That could potentially be a positive impact. It is fairly low market cap. It hasn't pulled back too heavily either, which it's pulled back a decent amount actually. Yeah, it has. Chart just doesn't look as aggressive as some of the other ones out there. But I need to do a little bit more research on Zencash and also see what type of partnership that they do have with IOHK, because that could be pretty legitimate for them. IOHK is a pretty solid org, so depending upon how that goes, that could be pretty interesting to watch. But I'll certainly take more of a look at Zencash. And nice to see Bitcoin still kind of bouncing a little bit right now, above 13 at this point. So happy to see that. Evian Argus, what's up, dude? Can you comment on the importance of adoption of cryptocurrencies by businesses versus speculation of traders as to the viability of cryptocurrencies in general over time? So good question. Appreciate that, Evian. So right now, the value of cryptocurrencies, at least in my opinion, it's primarily on a speculative front. There are very few cryptocurrencies that are being adopted by businesses. There are very few cryptocurrencies that are really actually being heavily utilized. I mean, you can argue me all you want, but to say any of these cryptocurrencies deserve the level of valuations that they have with the actual usage that they're getting, I think that's a pretty weak argument. A lot of it is speculating on the future worth of these cryptocurrencies and on the future worth of these assets. So that's something that the price is far ahead of actually what people are using these cryptocurrencies for. Whether it's something like, Bitcoin is, from a transaction value, it has probably the most transactions by quite some time, but Ethereum as well, and Litecoin and some of the other ones. But a lot of these other like utility coins, utility tokens, they're far ahead in terms of the valuation, ahead of where they probably should be when it comes to businesses actually using them. So Timothy Grisham, what's up, man? As a YouTuber and crypto trader, what, if any, tax deductions do you write off on your yearly taxes? Can you write off things like your PC, accountant, home office? I don't really write off any of that stuff for the most part. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can. I'm sure I could, but I don't really. I'm lazy, and I just kind of give all my stuff to my accountant and let him deal with it. So I'm more worried about calculating the taxes on my trades and things like that. And for that, I'm using bitcoin.tax. And I've already, for the most part, done that. I have a pretty decent idea of my realized gains for the year and the type of taxes that I owe the good old government. So at this point, I feel feel pretty good about all that, but I'm not planning on really writing anything off. But yeah, I'm sure you could write off your home office if you want. I'm sure you could write off your laptop and all that stuff as well. Mario, what's up, dude? Hope you're having a good one. Any thoughts on UBIC? Yeah, for sure, man. I'm gonna pull it up. So taking a look at UBIC now, still nowhere near its all-time high in terms of Bitcoin valuation. So that's one thing, or the price in comparison to Bitcoin. It crushed it back in July. And if it ever gets back there, that could be fairly interesting. There's a decent amount of people. I think a pretty decent amount of people that like UBIC. The fact that they're on the Ledger wallet now is pretty cool. I really like that, and prices tend to move positively. Granted, that's been happening for quite some time, but the accessibility of something like UBIC goes up quite a bit when it actually is available on like a Ledger, on a Trezor, and you can store that and don't have to keep it on exchanges. So that's a positive thing. But I'm not, for me personally, I don't have any money in UBIC. I haven't done like the full course of due diligence, but as far as how it might compare long term, it's still nowhere near that all-time high of what its price was in comparison to Bitcoin. If you ever think it can get back there, it could be an interesting play. My theory is that, Crusader, what's up, dude? I appreciate the super chat. My theory is that the governments, especially the U.S., China, and Saudi Arabia, are trying to destroy the crypto market to retain the value of fiat USD. It may work this time, but not for very long. I don't know. Maybe I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist, but I don't know if they have that level or if they have that ability. I'm sure they do have that ability. I mean, if the U.S. government really wanted to come out and destroy crypto's market value versus fiat USD, they would just ban cryptocurrency or ban crypto trading. So pretty simple solution is come out with regulation and crush it. They haven't done that yet. So that's been, I mean, the regulatory approach in the US has actually been pretty decent. So that's something that I think is worth noting, is the regulatory approach for the most part when you're talking about the USD hasn't crushed it. And they could pretty easily do that if they wanted to. Watch Alex Jones. He's always right. Garrett Lucas, I appreciate your insight. I've learned a lot from you so far, but learning the lesson the hard way. Yeah, thank you very much, Garrett. I appreciate that too. So thank you guys so much for that. And folks, outside of that, I'm going to take a little bit of time here to digest what's going on in these charts here and try to see if I need to make any moves in the long term or kind of get a feel for what's going on as much as possible. I really do appreciate your time tonight. If you are new to the channel, would love for you to hit the subscribe button, the notify bell. That would be fantastic. But until next time, I really do appreciate your time. Thank you guys so much for the questions. Yeah, Evelyn just said I'm going shopping. I might be going shopping for altcoins. We'll have to see what is happening. But I really do appreciate the time, guys. Thank you so much. Crypto Bobby signing out. Peace. I'm still here. Peace, everybody.